Recording in progress. Welcome to the iceHQ Adult Dev Game 8 recap, where it is just the two of us, Alison and myself. Emma Sloots was here for a bit, but we were too busy watching Boston beating Toronto in a final series to, I must have scared her off. Anyway, so the game on the weekend was interesting, wasn't it?
It was, yes, you could put it that way. It was good.
The first time the Tigers and the Jokers played, it was a 2-2 draw. And to be perfectly honest, I was asked the question before the start of the game who I thought would win it, and I said I got no idea. And I had exactly the same no idea this time as well, and I was frankly very surprised at the 8-0 win that it ended up being. I've gone through and watched the video of the game. Have you had a chance to watch the game at all?
I did, yeah. I watched it when I got home because I just
What are
wanted
your
to see.
thoughts?
I thought it was good. I saw bits that we didn't do right. I saw bits that I didn't do right, but I don't think there was any glaring, people not following the rules or going rogue. I think it was just their game to win.
There was a bit of puck luck for sure, but there was also a very uneven amount of shots on the net.
Yeah.
Very uneven amount of sustained time in attack and an inability to clear the puck out in a meaningful way from the Jokers, which just kind of I went through the first period fairly closely, and then it got a bit painful to keep watching. So I stopped, but I did get a bunch of stuff out of it. And one of the things that's very clear is that the defensive structure for the Jokers broke down.
Yeah.
Not the individual player skill side of it, because I think in terms of individual player skill, both teams are pretty even, which is why it was such a surprise. But that the structure fell apart for the Jokers, and it ended up being a couple of people trying to do everything, and that just doesn't work. And that comes down to a trust your teammates issue. And so I grabbed a bunch of videos, and they're all up on the Facebook group as well, so you can go through them and have a look at them as well and see if you can work out why I picked them. But if you want, Alison, that we can go through the videos, and I'll just get your thoughts on what happened with each one of them, and we'll see if we can pick them apart a bit and see what we can learn from them, which will be valuable for everyone else as well who tunes in to watch this at some point if they do.
Yeah.
Because it really was a structural thing. I stuck up a picture, which you might have seen. In fact, I think you did see it, of the Jokers doing it and the Tigers doing the same thing. So I'll just grab that picture again. It was a screen capture and I didn't save it, but I'll just grab it off the Facebook group. I'll grab the Tigers one actually, because we've already seen the Jokers one. Graphics rink, that's not the one we want. Sorry, it's take me a second to put things in the right place. And we'll grab the other one as well. Why not? We may as well while we're here. Okay, so I've got two images, which to my mind encapsulate pretty much what both teams were doing wrong a lot of the time. Although the Jokers had to do it more than the Tigers because the Jokers were generally under more defensive pressure. So I'll just share it so you can see it. Right, so just looking at that picture, what's the Tigers are defending? What's gone wrong?
Everyone's facing the puck, but not looking at the next moves or the other players.
Part of it, yeah. Everyone's puck watching. What else is? What's really fundamentally wrong there from the point of view of the Tigers defending? What the Jokers are doing isn't too bad. They've got a player in the slot battling for position. They've got a player who's going for the puck near the moat sign. The other forward, I'm not quite sure why he's where he is. Would probably be better in high slot, but regardless, is at least in some sort of an attacking position. What are the Tigers doing?
Sorry, I'm watching on my phone, so it's actually really small. They're not defending against the other players, against the Jokers.
There's the loose player coming up the back of the face-off circles, but there's something else really fundamentally wrong there.
I'm not sure.
All right, where are the wingers?
Oh, is number 80 a winger?
Well, that's Trent. You should know him. He's one of your teammates. So we pinched him.
Ah, sorry.
But he was
I
playing.
didn't know which jersey he ended up in.
I think we found his spot too. I think he's a pretty handy winger. We might leave him there.
Yeah.
I think he's found the urge to score now. But where's the other winger? I'm not sure if you can see it on your phone.
I can't, I'm sorry. It's there. I can't see numbers.
Given that there's 5 players in a team, where should both the wingers be? And you should be able to see both of them. I'll draw a line. We talk about this before the start of each game. We say, imagine there's a line across the top of the face-off circles.
Yeah, and they should be behind it.
They should be above that. So we should have a winger here and a winger here. Instead of a winger here. Naughty winger, bad winger, get out of there. Flutes, you're back.
Hey, yeah, sorry, internet issues.
Oh, good. Scared you off with Boston beating Toronto again. Hello, Michelle. Welcome back. So in a defensive setup, and this is the basic thing we practice every single session. Every single training session we go through it, we practice it over and over and over again, and hopefully eventually it starts to sink in. It's just a repetition thing. If for example the puck's over where the moat sign is, right? What the Tigers are doing defensively with their D and their centre is pretty good, but they should have a winger here and a winger here. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember how at training sessions we stop you if you don't do it? Because you're playing D, Alison, you're probably a little bit less aware of how critical that is. But because I think all 3 of you are all playing D, you're probably not quite as aware of what the wingers should be doing. But it is actually really important. And there's a couple of reasons for that. But the main reason is that if everyone's down deep like this, all trying to basically defend on the puck, how are you going to get the puck out of the zone?
Just have to ice it.
Yeah, and then you get brought back again. Right? It doesn't work. You need your wingers to come down. You want a winger here on the boards. That winger is to receive this pass. When you get possession, if you do recover possession, that winger should be receiving that pass, and the other side winger should be skating off, and then down that way. That's supposed to be an arrow off down the middle of the ice to score the goal, or at least get the puck out and start that counter attack. Now, in this case, it's the Tigers who haven't done it, but the Jokers did that a lot on Saturday. Was Saturday, wasn't it? Was it Saturday? Whichever day it was, on the weekend.
It was Sunday.
It's on the weekend. but it's that winger play which is so critical. That's what allows the breakout to work and allows you to get the puck out of the zone. And it fell apart for both teams, but it was probably worse for the Jokers because you were under a lot more defensive pressure. But you kept being put under defensive pressure because you couldn't break it out. And that's because your wingers were getting in too deep, crowding the whole situation. So Kat had way too much traffic to worry about. Kat, by the way, played a really good game. She was superb. There was a couple that she probably would wish she had back, but that's fatigue. She ended up with like 28 or 30 shots or something or other on her, which is quite a lot of shots, especially in Div 9. That's unusual to get that many shots. On the whole, Jokers defensively didn't do a bad job. There was a couple of lapses, but you're going to get them. In particular, it's still beginner grade. We don't expect you guys to be absolutely flawless. And then if you go off and you watch elite hockey, the D are making the same mistakes. It's just faster. We did some stuff really well. So I'm going to go through some videos and just kind of give us a bit of an example. I just wanted to show you that because it's kind of a really good example of what went wrong with both teams throughout the game that we can fairly easily fix just with a bit of persistency. And I guess also to an extent, coaches being really right on top of it and making sure that the point is made very, very clear. Wingers, trust your D and stay out of defence. Usually. Are there any circumstances where the wingers should go in and defend?
When someone's in the box.
Yeah, in a penalty kill. Yep. What else? What if a D pinches? Do we know what pinches means? Out of curiosity, because I sometimes use jargon and not necessarily. And my apologies if I kind of assume that you know the jargon when you might not necessarily. But you know what de-pinching actually means?
I think it's if you're going too high in the wrong direction when everyone's heading towards the net, and then you get stuck sort of not defending.
It's not a bad description. Generally, what it means is a defensive player going forwards to try and get the puck instead of coming back. It's called pinching forwards or pinching up. Sometimes it's the right thing to do. If you're 100% sure that you can get the puck, a pinch is a good thing. But if you're not, it's generally not such a good idea. But if you do pinch and you get beaten, which will often happen, then it's the forward's jobs to be coming back and covering for you. I want to show you a really good example of a forward doing some really good cover. Got the wrong video play here. Just bear with me for a second. It's my sharing. There you are. First video. And we wanted. Let's have a look at this. Okay, to start off with, the Jokers are attacking. I think it's Jacob who's been pushed off into the side. Look at what the Jokers have got. This is the Jokers are attacking on the bottom screen. Can you see what's happening there?
The center and the two wingers are heading in the right direction. And it looks like their D is pinching.
Yeah, there's a challenge at least. I think that's Alex, and she's pushing Jacob out wide, which in that instance is not necessarily a bad thing because she's probably got the measure of him skill-wise. But again, risky play, but at least she's kind of keeping herself in the right spot. But the interesting thing is to watch. That's Sam McDonald, who's the centre there, skating down the middle. He played really, really well in this game. He did a great job of kind of really well. So there he is. He's loose in the slot. There's no one anywhere near him, is there? If Jacob could get a pass to him, what's going to happen?
He'll get a goal.
He's going to get a pretty good shot on the net. Might not necessarily be a goal, but it's certainly a really good chance. So the Tigers aren't marking at all a player in high slot. And that's generally bad defensive play. But Jacob's been taken out of the play. Watch what happens now. So concentrate. Where'd my annotation go? Come back, annotator. Why does it disappear when playing videos? Oh. Anyway, can you see my mouse moving?
No.
Anyone?
No.
Oh, okay, well, can you see where Sam is? He's in front of the net on the bottom screen.
Yeah.
I can't highlight him. This video player won't let me do it for some bizarre reason and only to itself. But there's no annotator when you're doing a video share with this expensive software. Anyway, watch what Sam does. Right, so there's a turnover. And what does he do?
He chases the puck.
Yeah, doesn't he? And he breaks up the counter attack. That's really, really good play for a forward. And it's a center's job, but it's outstanding play for a forward. And he just broke up that attack because the Jokers at the time were doing a D change. And I think that's you coming on there, Alison. And I'm not sure who the other D is. And one of the Tigers is just crossing the line. Sam basically completely broke that attack up. Despite the fact that he'd been in the attack, he did absolutely perfectly. That was really, really good play from Sam. I think he had an outstanding game in a game that didn't go his own way. It would have been very frustrating for him. Right. Let's have a look at some of our defensive zone face-offs. I'm going to go back to using my other video player. So you're going to lose sound, but that's okay because at least we can pause and annotate it, which is good. All right, how does that look to start with?
Crowded.
Is everyone in the right spot?
I think everyone's mostly in the right spot except
Yeah, it's pretty good.
yeah.
I think it's Michael Peretti, who's one of the wingers, who's sort of just stuck a little bit behind you, Alison. But Alison, you've done the right thing. You've picked up your player, right? You know, that's your responsibility. That's the player you have to mark, and there you are doing it, which is really good. We've got our two wingers. That one's ready to go blast up here. So you've got this one ready. He's going to do that. At least that's what's supposed to happen. Let's see what happens. Right, now it's putting the annotator down the bottom of the screen for reasons not only to itself. What happened? You want to see it again?
Yes, please.
Get rid of my annoying lines. Get it that time? Did it work?
I think so. Eventually, Tigers got possession, but then the Jokers got it back and cleared it out of their area.
You turned it into a good breakout from a defensive zone faceoff. It wasn't perfect. There was a couple of little things that went slightly wrong. I'll point out one of them. Kind of jump forward in time a little bit. So we should be doing. Sorry, I'm filling that one on the wrong side. I should be skating up the middle, not skating across and up. And there's a good reason for that. Let's see what actually happens. So that's Jacob, who's got the puck, and he's looking for the passing option, and he's pretty well covered. There's a lot of Tigers in the way. Cricky's doing the right thing. He's moving back. That's the Tigers D. He's doing good there. He's already starting to move back. The pass comes out, and you know it's an attacking opportunity, and that's a good play. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. That initial movement and that starting jump has allowed everyone to get going on that defensive zone face-off. And on the whole, both teams did the defensive zone face-off very well, which was excellent. We're really pleased with that. It's interesting if you get a chance to watch the other Div 9 teams, and if you see them do defensive zone face-off, see what they do. And then have a chat to me about it afterwards and say, oh, they were doing this. Why were they doing that? And let's see if we can digest it a little bit. But on the whole, that worked pretty well. I do want to show you, this is a structural breakdown, which resulted in quite a lot of zone time. I can't remember if it was a goal or not. Let's just have a look at this play and see if we can find ways to improve it. Sorry, zoom right here. Keeps moving around on my screen. So this goes for about 30 seconds. We'll just let it run first time, and then we'll break it up in little bits and have a bit more of a look at it. But just watch it through once and just see it's got to get a general feel for what happens. All right. So looking at the Tigers, the Joker's defense at this particular point in time, see if you can just describe to me where everyone is. Difficult on a phone, I know.
Yeah, I'm struggling with numbers, but
Don't worry about
I
the
think
numbers,
it's
just in general.
on the right. There's a player being marked, which is
Yep.
good.
Yep.
And then Michelle's up in the net, just in the main zone.
Yep. In front of the net, there's called the slot.
The slot, sorry, I know
That's
that.
right where she needs to be. That's good.
Um, but there's two Tigers that are unmarked.
There is, isn't there? What else is going on? Look at the Joker's layout. So remember, bear in mind, there's 5 players on the ice plus cat in the net. Where are all of the Jokers? Do you remember that line we drew across top of the face-off circles earlier?
Yeah, they're all too high.
Okay.
The wingers are too high.
So what we've got here, I'm not sure who that is, right? Really should be up here. You guys get possession, you can't do anything with it. You're stuck. All you can do is ice it and hope. It's not a very good breakout. So what we need to do is you need to just keep reminding our wingers, there's this line across here. Oops, that's supposed to be a straight line, but anyway. Right. This imaginary line. Imagine the side closest to your defending net is electrified. And if you stand in it, you're going to get a shock. Either that or we'll get Nerf cannons or something or other and shoot you with Nerf cannons. Some other way of reminding you, get up, get out of there. So why does it happen, do you think? Why do wingers get pulled down into that defensive setup? Any thoughts? The 3 of you are all D, so you've seen it enough times now to probably be frustrated by it. Why do you think it happens?
It could be trust. They just mightn't think that the D's can do it without them.
Yep.
Which in my case they can't. So good on you.
Okay. You're
But
developing like everyone else. Don't make me come over there and smack you around for, putting yourself down. You're as much a part of this team as everyone else, and everyone has equal opportunity to learn. That's what we do. They have to trust each other. Everyone has to trust each other. And if the problem is, if you don't get trusted, you don't get a chance to improve. And that's pretty, right? We have to let our players learn, and the only way they learn is by doing. So that particular side of it is something that every now and then we grab a player and have a bit of a quiet chat to them and say, look, you've got to trust your teammates a bit more. Stop trying to do everything. Generally, throughout our program, we've done a reasonably good job of keeping a handle on it, but it is a trust issue, absolutely. And it's because people are more concerned about winning the game than improving the team. That's what that boils down to. But at this stage, it's halfway through the first. There's only 1 goal in it. There's no like. It's not like you're getting caned or anything, and it's not a grand final where that can happen a lot as well. So, what are some other reasons do you think for it happening? Because I don't know.
it could just be the stress. People, make the wrong decision under pressure and they see the puck and they just chase it.
Yep.
The other team's Ds are also in deep as well.
The Tigers.
Yeah.
Well, you've got one who's gone in, but the other one.
Yeah.
So you've got. Not quite sure what's going on with this little battle, but Quicky's in the right spot. He should probably be back here on the blue line, but again, new player still learning. As we all are, regardless of how good we think we are. Right. But this winger job when the Tigers have possession is to be here. Basically, about 4 or 5 meters away from that D, in a line with them in the net. So that D is not an option. You're basically just trying to take the D out of the play. As a winger, that's your job, is to cover those D. This one is taking that cover very literally. You're not getting past me, and okay, that's fine. But again, I'm not sure who that one is, but whoever this winger is really should be standing there. Watching the game, but standing there. Because if you get that puck, right, this winger can then go there, this winger can then do that. And guess what? You've got an attack. That's what we're trying to do. Watch it again. Oops. Going all over the place. See. Now the Tigers D. So Cricky's done the right thing. Just watch what Cricky's there wearing 36. Watch his movement when the puck comes across. This is actually really good. Sees the puck coming across. Skates across to that point. That's really good defensive play. Our other D, I think that's one of the Juckets. Probably went in a bit high, and at this point is probably in the right spot. He's been covered there by, I think that's Parisi. He's doing a good job. That's good defensive cover now. See how Parisi's covering? That there? That's great. It's right where he should be when we're defending. But the other winger, I don't know, down there somewhere. Get out of there, please. It's not helping. Right. And what it does is, as well as taking away that outlet, it creates confusion in the defensive zone. Because now, who's marking who? You don't know. It gets too hard because there's too many bodies. And when there's a lot of bodies, there's chaos, and when there's chaos, there's opportunity. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important. So what we're going to focus on at our next pre-game briefing is going to be very much wingers, stay up out of there. Stay up out of there. We're going to bark at you until you do. And if you're a D or a centre and you see one of the wingers get down there, yell at them. Get up out of here. Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot. Because we've got to help each other. We're doing it now really well with the defensive zone face-offs. I've noticed, and it's particularly gratifying, that you're all helping each other out with that now. You're all reminding each other of where you need to be and what you need to do. And I'm even starting to hear some players yelling out, go, 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 when the puck gets dropped. That's fantastic. That's really what we want to hear. And we're hearing good calling for ups and overs. Those sorts of things are starting to happen too. So that's really good. We need to help out a little bit too with positioning. And that's often reminding wingers to get up out of here. I got a passing option if you're here. What am I going to do when I get the puck? Just ice it? I don't want to just ice it. I want to play it up the ice. Oh man, shakes with clouds. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to see if we can do that better next week. And we can. We absolutely can do it better. If we fix that up, you get out of your zone, which means you get a chance to get a change because you've been defending for a minute and you're tired. And your goalie's getting cranky because they're having to track everything and they get tired. Even if they're not, even there isn't shots on the goalie's moving all the time. So you've got to get the puck out and get the puck down the other end, but get the puck down the other end with some, not just a dump, because dumps don't work very well, not anymore. Something else that was going on a bit, and it's going to feel a little bit like I'm picking on him, and I'm not. It's just that it's just kind of how it worked out. But this was Jacob. Let's just have a look at what happens here. Tigers get a shot. We've got a similar situation. Four jokers in deep, one joker up high, and the one joker up high is young Luke, who played a pretty good game. He's improved a lot in the last couple of weeks. It's been good to see. He's really started to settle in and understand the game a lot more. Which is good. He's starting to read it and his skating's improved and a lot of things are doing better. But what he needs to be doing here is that. But we've got Jacob who's gone down there to pick up the puck. Now, in this particular situation, if you watch the gameplay leading up to that, it's understandable. So it's not as bad as him not trusting his teammates. It's just like the puck was there right in front of him, so he went and got it. And that's not an unreasonable thing. We'll just kind of wind back a few frames and see. Right, so if we look at this, we can see we've actually got pretty good defensive play there by the Jokers. The Tigers, I think, are getting a change. pretty good job of putting pressure on them in the right place and owning that space in front of the net. So that's good too. He prioritised that very well. Puck goes around the back, sort of bobbles out. And because Jacob was in the right spot, he's just kind of picked it up anyway. And there's nothing wrong with it. He's not doing anything wrong in that instance. He's looking up the ice for a passing option. Luke's still skating up the side instead of cutting across the middle, which makes it a longer stretch pass. And Jacob's probably thinking, if I do a cross ice pass, I'm going to get barked out here. Right, so watch what he does instead. He goes around everyone, but there's an offside. All right. And one of the reasons for why that happened is that, again, the weak side winger needs to move across and up the ice and be ready to receive that pass. And not a criticism of Luke, he's learning and he's improving heaps. We need to make sure that all of our wingers are have that mindset of, if I'm not the player with the puck, I want to skate up the middle, not up the side. If we do that, then every player knows when they're skating up the ice, there should be someone in the middle. So you can glance and know that they'll be there, rather than, where's my teammate, who am I going to pass to? It's like, I just know they're going to be skating up the middle. And then I've got much less place to look for them, and it's a bit easier. The other thing there that Jacob could have done, and he might not have been aware of it, we watch. So there's Luke going offside. He's just crossed the line there, like well offside. What Jacob could have done is, if he saw that movement, he could have dumped the puck in front of him. One of the options, and we haven't really spoken about this as an attacking choice, is to dump the puck into the corner. Again, not so relevant for the three of you. You're all playing D, so it's not such an issue. Although occasionally you'll be in this position. What you can do there, see, if I've got the puck here, I can fire it into that corner. Or if I'm over here, I can rim it into that corner. And then the other forward can just go there and pick it up. That's a really nice play when you can do it. It involves the wingers reading the play a little bit more than they're probably ready to do at the moment. But in the next couple of seasons, it might start to become an option. Something else we can work on, and Alison, this is relevant to you too. There's a couple of times that you were doing it, and I think Michelle might have done it a couple of times as well, is predicting where the puck's going to go. I haven't got a specific video of it. It did happen a few times, but I didn't actually grab a video of it. But one of the things you can start to do is to try and overcome your instinct a little bit, because our instincts always do weird things. I'm just going to pull up a rink picture. So here's our rink. I hope you can all see that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now, what we know about the rink is that the puck will deflect around it and bounce off walls. I'm not trying to be a smart ass. This is just kind of reminding us of some basics. So if I have the puck and I fire it there, where's it going to end up? It's going to bounce and it's going to end up over here somewhere. So if I'm trying to get that puck, I shouldn't skate there. I should skate to here. Sorry, my lines are getting increasingly difficult to read. I'll start again. So someone's played the puck, puck's gone in there. We know it's going to bounce because that's what they do. If I'm a defensive player going to get it, where I should go is that way. Can you see that arrow?
Yeah.
So I'm going to where it's going to be rather than chasing it. Now, it takes, you've got to hesitate before you move to get your head around that. And that's sometimes a difficult thing to go, I've got to go get it now. I've got to get it now, because people are yelling, go get the puck, and pressure and that sort of stuff, the things that make us into idiots. But if you take half a second, maybe a second to start with, and say, where's the puck going to end up? And then skate to there. Then the puck will come to you, and it's a lot easier than the other situation, which would be, oh, I've skated here and now I've got to skate over there. Basically, there's doubled the amount of distance that I skate and had to change direction, both of which takes time. Whereas if I had to just skated straight over to where the puck was going to go, then it would have been there waiting for it. and I could actually get to it quicker. So you heard the expression less rush, more haste, or whatever it is. Some variation on that. Should know. Anyway, less. No, anyway, doesn't matter. The point is, give yourself half a second or so just to work out where the puck's going to go. It's something that we haven't had a chance really to practice in training sessions, but we might incorporate it into the next one. We've got one more training session before the end of the season. But even if you go to a stick and puck or something like that, get someone to fire the puck into a corner and work on reading where it's going to go and skate to where it's going to go rather than chasing it. Because that way you're more likely to get there first. And you can practice that. You can practice that at stick and pucks and stuff like that. Doesn't have to be at a training session. You can't really practice it in public sessions because you run into people, especially if it's at iceHQ in the corner where all the kids come out of the where the skate hire is, and they're all going off in random directions. Or down the other end where you get figure skaters trying to do their routines around 100 people. I don't understand why they try to do that, but they do. So the fact that no one's been absolutely flattened is a thing that never ceases to amaze me. Does that make a little bit of sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I know which instance you're referring to.
it happens all the time to everyone. You're not a special little snowflake here. It happens to everyone. But yeah, but it will certainly happen to every D gets, oh, there's a puck, go chase it. Oh, it's gone over there. Of course it was going to go over there because, it bounces off the walls. If you haven't played hockey, it's one of the few sports where that actually happens that we play in Australia anyway. Like soccer and out to field hockey and all those other, and football and basketball and all those other sports, you don't have to deal with rebounds. If it goes out of play, it's out. So you can just chase it. So we don't have this instinct to think ahead and think, where's it going to go? I'm sure you've all heard of Wayne Gretzky. He wasn't a particularly fast skater. He was quick, but he wasn't electrically fast. What he did was he read where the puck was going to go, and he'd always be there. And it's just because he could read the boards. It's just practice, but being aware of it. It's not it doesn't just come to you because you get on the ice and play hockey and expect it to just happen. It happens because you focus on it and consciously practice it, and that'll make a big difference. You don't have to be quick. I'm the slowest player in my Div 5 team, but I'm by far away from being the worst. Even though I'm certainly the oldest and the slowest, but I'm still effective because I know where the puck's going to end up. And that's the same sort of thing. You don't have to be a rocket ship to be good at this game. You have to be in the right place. We have a saying, if you're in the right place, magic happens. Okay, I'm not sure we want to go through any more videos apart from the ones that I've already stuck up on the Facebook group, because we can kind of digest them over and over and over again, and there's like just lots of goals and stuff like that. But all of them are up there. If you get a chance to have a look at them, and then try and work out what the teaching point is of each of those videos. Sometimes there's more than one. Again, I do have the bribe of the little Stanley Cup trophy for whoever gives me either the most amusing or the best answers to why the particular things are there. But they are all there and present. So please do have a look at them, see if you can work out what was going on in those particular videos. I don't think the result was a fair representation of the game, but certainly the Joker's defensive structure did break down on a number of occasions, which did give away goals. But I think it was mostly because they weren't counter-attacking very well. So the Tigers were very rarely under any defensive pressure. You gave them too much time. Any questions? Anything you'd like to look at?
No, not particularly.
I think you did a good job, Emma. I think you played well. We need to work on ferocity, but we know that. But I think in particular, you and Yvette played very well. You were really reading the game nicely. And there was a couple of times when you did absolutely the right thing. You got swamped a little bit, just with some big guys pushing you around a little bit. That's just something we need to keep working on. As a general rule, what we try not to do is have two small D on the ice at the same time, because you can be a little bit easy to push around. But I don't think it matters at this level. And I'm quite happy for you and Yvette to be on the ice together as much as you like. She's doing really well too. She's learned heaps and is progressing quite nicely. And Michelle, I thought you had a pretty good game. And Luke certainly improved. He's got a lot better than when he started off when he was pretty shaky. He's a lot better on his feet. There's a lot of positional stuff that we'll work on, but he's improved. He's come along in leaps and bounds, so it's really pleasing to see.
Thanks.
Trying to see if there's anything else that kind of immediately jumps out. But yeah, have a look at the videos. They're all in the Facebook group, and let me know what you think. I think we're playing. Are both teams playing this weekend? Let me just check.
I'm not sure. We're definitely playing. I think we're doing the Griffins.
Have a look. Sunday, isn't it?
Saturday, I think.
Saturday. Oh, Sunday. It's on the weekend. It's not the 30th because that's June. Hang on, what's going on here? Today's the 30th. Saturday's at the end of the week and Monday's Sunday, whatever. Griffins play the Jokers on Saturday. And the Tigers have a bye. Okay. Before that, the Penguins are playing the big deals. Cool. And that's on Saturday at 7:30. Excellent. All right. Well, I will see all of you Jokers on Saturday at around 6:30 or so. Not a bad idea to have a bit of a look at the other game and just work out what they're doing. See if you can start to read their play and understand it. That is really valuable to look at what the other teams are doing and see if you can start to see what patterns they're doing and what sort of structure they're running. If they're running any structure at all, sometimes it's pretty random, but other times it's quite apparent. Yeah. Women's Pro League is on Friday night, 7:25. It's the Snipers and the Dogs. That'll be a good one. So if you're stuck for something to do on a Friday night, it's a pretty good show. And you'll see they're doing all the same things that you are, just faster, which can make it a little bit hard to digest, but all the same, it will be there. Alrighty, we'll wind it up for tonight. This video is recorded, so it will be going up on the Facebook group. Sorry, I'll email out the link when the conversion is all finished, which will probably be in around about an hour or so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
See you on Saturday.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.